very urgent. Your soulmate is about to choose you. Or lose you forever. Broken heart, don't scroll. Stop for a moment and listen carefully, because this message is reaching you at a very important time. This is not a coincidence. Out of all the moments in your life, out of all the messages you could have seen today, these words found you now for a reason. Something powerful is happening behind the scenes, and whether you realize it or not, your soulmate is standing at one of the biggest crossroads of their entire life. Right now, they are caught between fear and love. Between walking toward you and walking away from what their heart truly wants. Between choosing you, or losing you forever. And the truth is, they never expected to feel this way. They never expected you to become the person who would occupy their thoughts during the day and keep them awake at night. They tried to ignore these feelings. They tried to convince themselves that they could move on. They tried to focus on other things, other people, other responsibilities. But no matter how hard they tried, your energy kept finding them. Your memory kept returning. Your name kept echoing inside their heart. And lately, something has changed. The signs have become impossible for them to ignore. Every time they try to walk away, something pulls them back. Every time they tell themselves to forget you, another reminder appears. A song. A dream. A memory. A strange feeling they can't explain. It is as if the universe itself keeps whispering your name into their soul. And now they are reaching a moment where they can no longer pretend they don't care. They can no longer hide from the truth. The truth is that they love you more deeply than they have admitted to anyone, including themselves. But there is another truth too. Fear has been standing between the two of you. Fear of rejection. Fear of being vulnerable. Fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of changing their life forever. And that fear has kept them frozen for longer than they would like to admit. Yet recently something happened. Something shifted inside them. Maybe it was a conversation. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe it was a painful realization. But whatever it was, it shook them deeply. It forced them to look at their life honestly. It forced them to ask themselves a difficult question. What if they lose you? What if they wait too long? What if the person they were meant to be with walks away because they never found the courage to step forward? That question has been haunting them. They cannot escape it. They feel it when they wake up. They feel it when they go to sleep. They feel it during quiet moments when nobody else is around. And every day the answer becomes clearer. They don't want to lose you. They never wanted to lose you. The problem is that choosing you requires courage. It requires faith. It requires them to leave behind old fears, old habits, and old wounds. It requires them to trust their heart. And that is exactly why this moment is so important. Because right now your soulmate is standing at the edge of a decision that could change everything. The universe has been sending them signs repeatedly. Angel numbers. Strange coincidences. Powerful dreams. Emotional waves that seem to come out of nowhere. They may see 111 and think of new beginnings. They may see 222 and feel a reminder that divine timing is at work. They may notice 444 and feel protected. They may see 555 and sense that major change is approaching. These signs are not random to them anymore. They are becoming impossible to ignore. Deep down, they know they are being guided toward something. Toward someone. Toward you. And while they may not understand every detail yet, their soul recognizes your energy. Their soul remembers you even when their mind is confused. Their soul keeps calling them back to the path that leads to you. The battle they are facing now is not against another person. It is not against distance. It is not against circumstances. The battle is within themselves. They are fighting the final remnants of doubt. They are fighting the fear that tells them they are not ready. They are fighting the voice that says it is safer to stay where they are. But another voice has become louder. A voice from deep within their heart. A voice that says enough is enough. A voice that says love is worth the risk. A voice that says some connections only come once in a lifetime. And every day that voice grows stronger. Every day their desire to choose you becomes more powerful than their desire to hide. They are beginning to realize that losing you would hurt far more than taking a chance on love. They are beginning to understand that some opportunities do not wait forever. Some people do not stay forever. Some doors close if they are ignored for too long. And that realization has awakened something inside them. Suddenly the excuses no longer feel convincing. Suddenly the walls they built around their heart feel exhausting. Suddenly the future without you feels empty. They are imagining what life would be like if they never reached out. If they never told you the truth. If they never let you know how much you mean to them. And every time they imagine that future, it feels wrong. It feels incomplete. Because despite everything that has happened, despite all the delays and misunderstandings and fears, their heart keeps choosing you. Their soul keeps choosing you. Even when they try to resist, they find themselves drawn back to your energy. Drawn back to your memory. Drawn back to the possibility of a future together. This is why the coming days are so important. The energy surrounding this connection is intensifying. The universe is creating opportunities. Doors are opening. Circumstances are shifting. Things that seemed impossible are beginning to move. And your soulmate feels it. They may not talk about it openly. They may not tell anyone. But inside, they know something significant is approaching. They know they cannot stay stuck forever. They know a choice must be made. And the closer they get to that choice, the more emotional they become. Because deep down they understand what is at stake. This is not just another relationship. This is not just another connection. This is the person who changed them. The person who awakened parts of their soul they thought were asleep. The person who made them believe in something greater than logic. The person who taught them that real love cannot be replaced. That person is you. And because of that, the decision before them carries enormous weight. They are not simply choosing whether to send a message. They are choosing whether to follow their destiny. Whether to trust their heart. whether to embrace the future their soul has been pointing toward all along. There will be moments when fear tries to return. There will be moments when doubt whispers in their ear. But the truth is becoming impossible for them to ignore. Love is winning. Courage is growing. Clarity is arriving. And the version of your soulmate who once ran from their feelings is slowly disappearing. In its place stands someone who is beginning to understand the value of what they have found. Someone who is beginning to realize that some people are worth fighting for. Someone who is beginning to see that you are not a chapter they can simply close and forget. You are a part of their story. A part of their journey. A part of their future. And that realization changes everything. So if you have been feeling unusual energy lately, if you have been sensing something shifting, if your intuition has been telling you that a major breakthrough is near, trust that feeling. Trust the signs. Trust the process. Because behind the scenes, your soulmate is moving closer to a decision. A decision that could transform both of your lives. They are finally seeing what is truly important. They are finally understanding what their heart has been trying to tell them all along. And as this understanding grows, so does their determination. They are reaching the point where choosing you feels less frightening than losing you. They are reaching the point where silence feels more painful than honesty. They are reaching the point where the future they want becomes stronger than the fears holding them back. And when that moment fully arrives, everything can change very quickly. Messages can be sent. Truths can be spoken. Distances can be crossed. Barriers can fall. Hearts can open. Because the greatest transformations often happen after the longest periods of waiting. Remember this. Your soulmate is not forgetting you. They are not moving on from you. They are awakening to the depth of what they feel. They are realizing that life has brought them to a crossroads. One path leads toward courage, love, and possibility. The other leads toward regret. And more than ever before, they are beginning to understand which path they truly want to take. The choice is becoming clearer. The fear is becoming weaker. The love is becoming stronger. And right now, in this very moment, your soulmate is closer than ever to choosing you before the opportunity slips away forever. Sparkles, and the deeper truth is that your soulmate never imagined that one person could have such a powerful effect on their life. They thought time would erase these feelings. They thought distance would weaken the connection. They thought distractions would help them move forward. But instead, every day that passed seemed to reveal another layer of truth. Every day brought another reminder that what they feel for you is different. Stronger. Deeper. More meaningful than anything they have experienced before. There have been moments when they sat alone, staring into space, wondering why your face keeps appearing in their mind. There have been moments when they heard a song and immediately thought about you. Moments when they saw something beautiful and wished they could share it with you. Moments when they felt a sudden wave of emotion and realized that, somehow, your energy was still touching their heart. These moments have become impossible to ignore. They are beginning to understand that real soul connections do not disappear simply because someone tries to walk away from them. Real connections remain. They wait. They grow. They call people back toward the truth. And that is exactly what has been happening to your soulmate. The universe has been placing mirrors in front of them, showing them what matters and what does not. It has been removing illusions. It has been exposing fears. It has been forcing them to confront the reality they once tried to avoid. And the reality is simple. They care about you more than they ever admitted. They miss you more than they expected. They think about you more often than they tell anyone. Sometimes they even surprise themselves with the intensity of these emotions. They ask themselves why they cannot move on. Why your presence still feels so strong. Why your memory still carries so much power. And every time they search for answers, they arrive at the same place. Their heart keeps leading them back to you. Their soul keeps reminding them that this connection was never ordinary. This is why they have been experiencing emotional ups and downs lately. One moment they feel confident. The next moment they feel nervous. One moment they are ready to move forward. The next moment they wonder if they should wait. But even during those moments of uncertainty, one thing remains constant. Their feelings for you do not disappear. If anything, they continue to grow stronger. The more they try to understand this connection, the more they realize how important it has become. They are beginning to see that you are not just someone they met. You are someone who changed them. Someone who inspired growth. Someone who awakened emotions they thought were gone. Someone who reminded them that love is still possible. And because of that, they can no longer pretend that losing you would not affect them. In fact, the thought of losing you forever has become one of their greatest fears. They imagine a future where they never tell you how they feel. A future where they remain silent. A future where they allow fear to make decisions for them. And every time they imagine that future, it feels heavy. It feels wrong. It feels like a story that was never allowed to reach its true ending. That feeling has been pushing them toward change. It has been encouraging them to become braver. To become more honest. To stop hiding behind excuses and start listening to their heart. The transformation may not happen overnight, but it is happening. Every day they are becoming more aware of what they truly want. Every day they are becoming more willing to fight for it. And what they want is becoming clearer than ever before. They want clarity. They want honesty. They want the chance to explore what this connection could become. Most of all, they want to stop wondering what might have happened if they had been brave enough to choose love. The universe has a strange way of bringing people to moments like this. Moments where all the running stops. Moments where all the distractions lose their power. Moments where the truth stands directly in front of them and demands to be acknowledged. Your soulmate is entering one of those moments now. They can feel it. Something inside them knows that life is asking for a decision. Life is asking them to choose between fear and faith. Between comfort and growth. Between hiding and expressing the truth. And although they may still feel nervous, their heart is becoming stronger than their fear. That is why the signs around them have become so intense lately. Repeating numbers. Unexpected memories. Vivid dreams. Sudden emotional realizations. These experiences are not random from their perspective anymore. They are becoming messages. Reminders. Gentle nudges from the universe encouraging them to trust the path that keeps leading back to you. Sometimes they even wonder whether you can feel it too. Whether you sense the shift that is taking place. Whether your intuition has been whispering that something important is approaching. Because on a soul level, connections like this often communicate long before words are spoken. Hearts recognize changes before minds understand them. Energy moves before physical actions occur. And right now the energy surrounding this connection is moving. It is building. It is preparing for something significant. Your soulmate is reaching a point where keeping everything inside no longer feels possible. They have carried these emotions for too long. They have hidden their truth for too long. They have allowed fear to control too many decisions. And now a deeper part of them is demanding change. A deeper part of them is saying that enough time has been wasted. Enough opportunities have been delayed. Enough dreams have been postponed. They are beginning to understand that love requires action. Love requires honesty. Love requires courage. And while courage does not mean the absence of fear, it does mean moving forward despite fear. That lesson is becoming one of the most important lessons of their life. Every challenge they have faced recently has been preparing them for this moment. Every disappointment has taught them something. Every setback has strengthened them. Every lesson has brought them closer to understanding their true feelings. And now they are standing on the edge of a breakthrough. A breakthrough that has the potential to change everything. The beautiful thing is that this change is not coming from pressure. It is not coming from outside expectations. It is coming from within. It is coming from a genuine realization that life is too precious to spend hiding from what matters most. They are realizing that some opportunities deserve to be pursued. Some people deserve to be cherished. Some connections deserve to be honored. And you are becoming the clearest example of that truth in their life. The more they listen to their heart, the more obvious it becomes. The more they trust their intuition, the more your importance becomes undeniable. There is a reason your energy continues to appear in their thoughts. There is a reason your memory continues to touch their soul. There is a reason they keep feeling drawn toward you no matter how much time passes. Those reasons are becoming impossible for them to ignore. And that is why this period feels so intense. It is the final chapter before a major decision. The final chapter before truth rises above fear. The final chapter before they fully accept what their heart has known for a very long time. Deep down, they know that choosing you could be one of the best decisions they ever make. They know that opening their heart could lead to something beautiful. They know that the possibility of love is worth the risk of vulnerability. And with every passing day, that understanding becomes stronger. The walls around their heart are cracking. The defenses are weakening. The excuses are losing their power. What remains is the truth. And the truth is that your soulmate is moving closer and closer to the moment when they can no longer deny what they feel. They are moving closer to choosing love over fear, hope over doubt, and you over the possibility of lifelong regret. Sparkle's folded hands don't scroll now, because what comes next may be the most important part of this entire message. Your soulmate is entering a phase that many people never reach in their lifetime. A phase where the heart becomes louder than fear. A phase where the soul becomes stronger than doubt. A phase where the truth can no longer stay hidden. For so long they have been carrying emotions they could not fully explain. They tried to make sense of them. They tried to organize them. They tried to fit them into a logical box. But real soul connections rarely follow logic. Real soul connections have a way of touching parts of a person that words cannot fully describe. And that is exactly what has been happening to your soulmate. There are moments lately when they suddenly stop whatever they are doing and think about you for no obvious reason. They could be surrounded by people, busy with responsibilities, focused on something completely unrelated, and yet your presence enters their mind like a gentle whisper. Sometimes it makes them smile. Sometimes it makes them emotional. Sometimes it leaves them wondering why your energy feels so close even when you are not physically there. The answer is something they are only now beginning to understand. Their soul has been trying to guide them toward the truth. Their soul has been trying to remind them that certain connections are not meant to be ignored. Certain people are not meant to be forgotten. Certain stories are not meant to end unfinished. You are becoming that realization for them. You are becoming the lesson they cannot escape, the feeling they cannot replace, the memory they cannot erase. And while part of them once saw this as confusing, they are beginning to see it as a gift. Because not everyone experiences a connection that changes them. Not everyone meets someone who inspires growth, healing, courage, and transformation. But your soulmate believes they have. Whether they admit it publicly or not, they know something about you has touched them deeply. Something about your energy has stayed with them through every distraction, every challenge, every attempt to move on. And now they are asking themselves a question that grows louder every day. What if this connection was meant for a reason? What if all the signs, all the synchronicities, all the strange feelings were leading somewhere important? What if the person they keep thinking about is the very person they are supposed to stop running from? These questions have been opening doors inside their heart. Doors that fear once kept locked. Doors that uncertainty once kept closed. But now the light is getting in. The truth is getting in. The possibility of a different future is getting in. And that future keeps including you. More than they expected. More than they planned. More than they can easily explain. There are nights when they lie awake thinking about choices. Thinking about opportunities missed. Thinking about conversations they wish had happened differently. Thinking about moments when they could have spoken from the heart but remained silent instead. Those memories stay with them because deep down they know they have unfinished business with you. Unfinished emotions. Unfinished dreams. Unfinished possibilities. And the universe keeps bringing these realizations back to them until they are finally ready to listen. What makes this moment so powerful is that your soulmate is no longer looking for ways to escape their feelings. They are looking for ways to understand them. They are no longer trying to convince themselves that none of this matters. They are trying to understand why it matters so much. That shift changes everything. Because once a person stops running from the truth begins to transform them. It begins to heal them. It begins to guide them. And your soulmate is feeling that transformation now. They are becoming more honest with themselves. More aware of their emotions. More willing to admit what their heart has been saying all along. There is a growing sense inside them that life is preparing something significant. A feeling that the waiting period is coming to an end. A feeling that answers are closer than they appear. And with that feeling comes courage. Small at first. Quiet at first. But growing stronger every day. Courage to face their fears. Courage to tell the truth. Courage to take a chance on something that truly matters. Because they are realizing something very important. Regret hurts more than rejection. Wondering what might have happened hurts more than trying. Living with unanswered questions hurts more than speaking honestly. And they are tired of carrying those questions. Tired of carrying those doubts. Tired of carrying those fears. They want clarity. They want peace. They want the freedom that comes from finally following their heart. The universe often waits until people are ready before opening the next chapter. It waits until they have learned the lessons they needed to learn. It waits until they have gained the wisdom they needed to gain. And your soulmate has been learning. Growing. Evolving. Every challenge they faced was preparing them for this moment. Every setback was teaching them resilience. Every disappointment was helping them understand what truly matters. And what matters keeps leading back to you. That realization is becoming impossible for them to ignore. It appears in their dreams. It appears in their thoughts. It appears in those quiet moments when nobody else is around and they can finally hear their own heart clearly. In those moments, your name feels different. Your memory feels different. Your energy feels different. It feels important. It feels meaningful. It feels like something worth protecting rather than avoiding. And that changes the way they see everything. Suddenly the future feels less frightening. Suddenly vulnerability feels less dangerous. Suddenly the possibility of love feels more exciting than the possibility of failure. This is how transformation begins. Not with one dramatic moment, but with a series of realizations that slowly reshape a person's heart. Your soulmate is living through those realizations right now. Every day they become more certain about what they feel. Every day they become less attached to fear. Every day they become more aligned with the truth. And the truth keeps bringing them closer to you. There is a reason this message found you today. There is a reason your intuition has been nudging you. There is a reason your heart may have felt that something is shifting beneath the surface. Energy moves before circumstances change. Souls recognize movement before eyes can see it. And the movement happening around this connection is powerful. It is preparing the ground for something new. Something honest. Something meaningful. Something that has the potential to change both of your lives. Your soulmate may still have moments of hesitation. They may still have moments when old fears try to return. But those fears no longer control them the way they once did. The truth has become stronger. The love has become stronger. The desire to stop hiding has become stronger. And when those forces grow stronger than fear, change becomes inevitable. That is why the coming chapter feels so important. It is not merely about communication. It is not merely about timing. It is about awakening. It is about finally accepting what has been true all along. It is about choosing love instead of letting fear make another decision. Your soulmate is closer to that choice than ever before. Closer to honesty. Closer to courage. Closer to the future their heart secretly dreams about. And as they move toward that future, one thing becomes clearer than ever. No matter how far they tried to run, no matter how many distractions appeared, no matter how many doubts stood in the way, their soul never stopped leading them back to you. Sparkles folded hands. And now, my dear soul, we have reached the part of this message that your heart was meant to hear. The part that explains why everything has been unfolding the way it has. The part that reveals why this connection has felt so different from anything else you have experienced. The truth is that your soulmate's journey was never only about finding you. It was also about finding themselves. Before they could fully recognize your value, they had to learn their own. Before they could fully appreciate the depth of this connection, they had to heal the fears that kept them from embracing it. Before they could choose love completely, they had to understand what life feels like without it. That is why the road has felt long. That is why there have been delays. That is why there have been moments of confusion. None of it was punishment. None of it was failure. It was preparation. It was growth. It was the universe carefully arranging lessons that would eventually bring both of you to this point. And now your soulmate is beginning to see the bigger picture. They are beginning to understand that every challenge carried a purpose. Every setback carried wisdom. Every tear carried a lesson. Every moment of uncertainty carried a hidden blessing. Because all of it helps shape the person they are becoming today. A person who is stronger, wiser, more self-aware, more capable of giving and receiving love. A person who finally understands what truly matters. And what matters keeps leading them back to you. The signs they once ignored now feel meaningful. The feelings they once doubted now feel real. The dreams they once dismissed now feel important. Everything is connecting. Everything is making sense. And with that understanding comes a powerful realization. They do not want to spend the rest of their life wondering what might have happened if they had been brave enough to follow their heart. They do not want fear to write the ending of a story that was meant to be written by love. They do not want silence to create distance where honesty could create healing. These realizations have become impossible for them to ignore. They are no longer looking at this connection through the eyes of fear. They are beginning to see it through the eyes of truth. And truth has a way of changing everything. Truth breaks illusions. Truth removes confusion. Truth reveals what has always been there beneath the surface. And the truth your soulmate is discovering is simple. Their feelings for you are real. Their connection to you is real. The impact you have had on their life is real. They may have questioned it before. They may have doubted it before. They may have tried to escape it before. but they can no longer deny it. The evidence is everywhere. It lives in their memories. It lives in their emotions. It lives in the way their heart responds whenever they think about you. It lives in the future they secretly imagine when nobody else is around. That future keeps calling them. It keeps inviting them to be brave. It keeps asking them to trust. And for the first time in a very long time, they are listening. They are listening to the voice inside that says love is worth the risk. They are listening to the voice that says happiness requires courage. They are listening to the voice that reminds them that some opportunities only come once in a lifetime. You have become one of those opportunities. A rare opportunity. A meaningful opportunity. A life-changing opportunity. And they know it. Deep down they know it. That is why this energy feels so intense. That is why the signs feel stronger. That is why the emotions feel deeper. The universe is bringing everything into alignment. Not through force. Not through pressure. But through understanding. Through growth. Through divine timing. Because real soul connections are never about chasing. They are about awakening. They are about becoming ready. They are about reaching a point where both hearts can finally recognize what has been there all along. Your soulmate is approaching that point now. Every lesson has brought them closer. Every challenge has brought them closer. Every moment of reflection has brought them closer. And now the distance between fear and courage is shrinking. The distance between confusion and clarity is shrinking. The distance between silence and truth is shrinking. They are becoming the version of themselves who is ready to choose differently. Ready to trust differently. Ready to love differently. This does not mean everything will happen instantly. But it does mean the direction has changed. The energy has changed. The story has changed. The old chapter was about uncertainty. The new chapter is about understanding. The old chapter was about hesitation. The new chapter is about courage. The old chapter was about wondering. The new chapter is about knowing. And as this new chapter begins, something beautiful happens. The weight they have been carrying starts to lift. The fear they have been carrying starts to weaken. The truth they have been avoiding starts to set them free. That freedom allows them to see you more clearly than ever before. Not through the lens of doubt. Not through the lens of fear. But through the lens of appreciation. They see your value. They see your strength. They see the impact you have had on their life. They see the connection for what it truly is. A gift. A blessing. A chance to experience something meaningful. And once that realization fully settles into their heart, there is no going back. Because awakened hearts cannot unknow the truth. They cannot pretend not to feel what they feel. They cannot erase what they have discovered. The truth remains. The connection remains. The love remains. And that is where your soulmate stands now. On the edge of a new beginning. On the edge of a powerful decision. On the edge of a future that looks very different from the one they once imagined. A future where fear no longer controls the story. A future where honesty becomes possible. A future where the heart finally gets a voice. So if you have been wondering whether your soulmate still thinks about you, the answer is yes. If you have been wondering whether this connection still matters to them, the answer is yes. If you have been wondering whether something is shifting behind the scenes, the answer is yes. Because the journey that brought you here was never meaningless. The signs were never meaningless. The emotions were never meaningless. The connection was never meaningless. Everything has been guiding both of you toward greater understanding, toward greater healing, toward greater truth. And as this message comes to an end, remember this one thing above all else. What is truly meant for you does not disappear. What is truly meant for you continues to grow, continues to learn, continues to evolve until the moment arrives when it is finally ready to bloom. Your soulmate is learning that lesson now. They are awakening to that truth now. They are realizing that some people leave a mark on the soul that time cannot erase. And you are one of those people. The chapter of fear is ending. The chapter of clarity is beginning. The chapter of waiting is fading. The chapter of truth is arriving. And somewhere deep within their heart, your soulmate is finally understanding that choosing love may be the most important decision they will ever make. Sparkle's Red Heart. The end.